Hey, I'm literally 2 minutes away from home. Man, this is going to be a special Doc Beast Daily. A very special Doc Beast Daily. So, we got on the subject of disciplining your kids. Disciplining your kids and whether you should beat your kids or not. And I've had situations where moms and parents and bring their kids to the emergency room because they can't control their kids. Oh, my kids, I'm scared of my kid. He's acting up. I can't control him. You need to send him to a psychiatric place or whatever. And I grant you, there are exceptions to the rule, but for the most for the most, uh, oh yeah, for the most part, I'm sorry. I think we should go back to the 80s where we were allowed to beat our kids. When I was growing up in the 80s, we actually, I remember at my Blessed Sacrament Catholic school where the nuns were allowed to beat us with brass rulers. I could definitely got my butt whooped. And the parents were allowed to, let me tell you something, and some of you guys probably remember this. Literally, the parents were allowed to beat the shit out their kids outside the classroom, and then once they were done, put the kids right back in class. You heard mom beat the shit out this kid, and you guys, some of you guys gonna know who I'm talking about too from elementary school. This guy, he was like the biggest one in our class. I remember it, and he was acting bad. His mom used to drive the bus locally where we lived. She was mad she had to get off work. He was the biggest, baddest guy, but mom had to come. She beat his ass and send him, put him back in class. I got my butt whooped too. So I don't know what it is now, 30 years later, if you beat your kids, you actually can have the state visit your home and, be threatened that your kid is going to be taken away from you. I honestly believe kids need tough love. I honestly believe anybody needs tough love. I think there are people, whether you talk about medical training, military training, or even raising your kids, who need a good verbal ass whooping, physical ass whooping. There are some people who need that type of stimulation. And I don't think we should put stipulations and rules on parents telling them how to raise our kids. I think it's bullshit. I'll be honest, I needed a butt whooping. I needed that. Some people didn't need a butt whooping. My wife was apparently a good kid, so she never needed a butt whooping. My sister and I, we were crazy kids, and I'm glad we got a butt whooping because I don't think I would be where I am today if I didn't get my ass whooped. I'll be honest, I have a wild side, a crazy side. And the reason I didn't do certain things when I was in growing up in Newark, because I was scared. I knew my wife would kick, no, my wife, I knew my mom would kick my ass. I literally did not do certain things because I knew my mom would kick my ass. I remember the kids were learning to steal cars. Newark was the car stealing capital of America. And the reason I was the only boy who stood by as these people were stealing cars and I didn't do it because I was scared. Because if I got caught, I'd get my ass whooped. They were popping wheelies, doing all this shit with these cars. I was watching them steal cars, like, oh shit. But I was scared. I was scared as hell. And some people need that. And I don't think we should police that. I don't think we should police that. There's certain rules or whatever, but come on now. And I believe when you discipline your kids rough, you have to marry it with some love. Like, yeah, we beat our kids. I'll be honest, we beat our kids. Now, I have rules about beating my kids because I'm the bigger parent. I always say my rules for me is I always hit my kids with an open hand on the butt. Open hand on the butt. I'm guaranteed mostly not to break, anything or too many things or whatever, as opposed to abusive parent hits their kids with closed hands or wherever it contacts the kid, and with weapons and all that stuff. No, my rule is no weapons, open hands on the butt. You got soft tissue protection on the butt. It's harder to break and fracture something when your hand is open. And I'm not using any weapons. I'm not going to tell you my wife's rules or whatever. She's kind of different. But anyway, so I think some kids need that butt whooping. I honestly believe it. I think we'll have less kids in the emergency room for behavioral issues. The emergency room is for medical, physical, orthopedics, cardiac complaints, not for you to bring your kid to the emergency room because you can't discipline your kid. No, let me not go there. So I think some kids need it. I'm not saying everybody needs it. I'm not saying go overboard. I'm not saying do some of the extreme things that my mom used to do. Like we did actually pick switches. My mom would beat us with anything she could grab. I got beat with shoes, kitchen utensils. What? I mean, please. I could have sworn one time my mom grabbed another human body and beat me with it. All right. So I'm not saying we should go overboard, but what I'm also saying is that kids need to get beaten. I don't think it should be an automatic visit from the state. you know. And with our kids, they know we love them. Please, we hug them literally 90% of the time. But the kids know you mess up, we will beat you up. Okay, so it's different when you getting all the discipline. You getting none of the hugs and kisses and I love yous. But if you getting a lot of the love and kisses, I love yous, then okay. And remind them I love and kiss. I'm giving you all this love and things and add positive statements. But once you fuck up, I'm gonna whoop your ass. That's okay. That's okay. They need to know in life there are consequences much greater than me whooping your ass. Much greater. I prefer my mom to whoop my ass than for me to go to jail and get something else done to my ass. So that's just I know some of you are going to disagree. Some of my Doc Beast Daily, you guys may disagree. You're not always going to say, oh, thank you, Doc Beast. Some of you are going to be like, But I believe kids need a butt whooping. I know my kids need it because my kids are crazy. My mom, my wife thinks my kids inherited from me because I was crazy growing up. Believe it or not, some of you guys may not know me that well, see me as very serious, but I have a wild side. I like to party and play. And my son, I got called to, man, he's crazy. He's crazy, and it was fun being me, but I don't want to raise somebody like me. He's crazy. Anyway, all right, peace. Beat your kids. Peace.